Hello and welcome to Sam's on Wrestling. I am Sam. I'm joined by Baby Sam.
Good evening.
And it is time to enter the lockbox. This is a series where we take things that we don't like. These are wrestling tropes. These are things that get repeated over and over again we don't like. These are storylines, wrestlers, whatever it is that we want to get rid of in general or from history, and we put it in Vince McMahon's lockbox because we never found out what was in it, so we're going to put loads of other stuff in it, and we get rid of stuff from wrestling. It's one of our few negative series.
It is. We try to stay very positive on this show, but I've literally just gone to my notes and looked at what I'm doing today and what I'm talking about. I'm already quite riled up. I'm quite angry, and I want to hit the table, but I won't because it will mess with the audio.
It's also made of glass.
Exactly.
So it won't help. But we want to know, what do you want to get rid of from wrestling? What wrestling tropes or wrestling storylines? What wrestling things do you wish just deleted from history or they don't repeat over and over again? Please put it in the comment section below. And also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And let's find out what we're going to enter into our lockbox today.
So, Sam, we'll kick off with you. What are you putting in the lockbox today?
Well, do you know what? This used to be a WrestleMania problem, and then it became a pay-per-view problem, and now it's a television problem. Every single match, every single thing, and I hate it, and I want it to die, and I want it to finish. Actually, that's what we're looking at. I am sick and tired of finishers not being finishers. I don't care if it makes me sound old. I don't care if it sounds like it's outdated. I don't care. I am bored of being lazy bookers going, how do we get a close near fall? We'll let them hit their finishing move and then they kick out. And you have to kick out. And by the way, this isn't an AEW problem. In fact, I would say it's a worse problem in WWE. AEW have a selling problem of moves, but WWE are way worse. So like, we looked at, like, say, like the opening, the Raw.
Perfect example.
The opening
Tribal Combat.
Yeah, the Netflix special on Raw. It's the first time we watched it. So there are 4 matches, right? 8 wrestlers on the night, and all 8 kicked out of the other person's finishing move.
I didn't know it was all.
Or at least a finishing move, like Seth Rollins hit the GTS that Punk kicked out of. I think Punk's the only one who didn't hit a finishing move that got kicked out of. Yeah. So it might be 7 out of 8. But literally, I'm using that as an example because it's stuck in my brain for the last 3 or 4 months that every single match had it. Even short matches like Drew and Jay was a short match, and they had kicks.
I didn't know that because I just skipped to the end of that match when I was watching.
And it's driving me up the wall that it doesn't even get a pop anymore. They hit a finishing move, and people go, "Well, it's 10 minutes into the match. The momentum hasn't built towards it. Well, okay." If you literally just scrapped it now and went, right, from now on, what's your finishing move? What's your finishing move? What's your finishing move? No one kicks out. You hit it, it ends the match. You have to have a really special occasion for it to happen, and it will make it special again. I blame WrestleMania 17. I blame them. They kicked out of all the finishes, and it just went worse from there. And I don't get it. It's lazy.
No, it's lazy. It's absolutely lazy. It's not even just bookers. It's producers and it's
I'm more talking the producers. More
it is the wrestlers. It is so lazy. I'm so sick of it. This is supposed to be, because you're absolutely right. This is supposed to be the generation where we're smart wrestlers and we're on the pulse, etc. Why are we doing it? It's so lazy and it's not good. It's not cool. Again, it comes back to this live event mentality where that will get a pop in the crowd. A live crowd, but you're doing it on TV every week. It doesn't work. Why does Cody have to do 3 crossroads? He's really bad for it. That Tribal Combat match, he kicked out of, what was it? Jacob Fatu's moonsault on the solo, the spike. Yeah. And then Roman Reigns kicked out of...
And a spear, I think, yeah.
But then Roman Reigns kicked out of the stunner from Kevin Owens one. Yeah. That wasn't even just a finisher. That was an interference finisher.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I was watching it going, it's not going to win. Not going to win. And then at the end when it did happen, I was like, is he going to win? Oh, he's okay.
ECW had this problem when they were going around that no one knew what the finish was going to be, so they never got a pop from the finish. Now WWE, thankfully, do get a pop with the finish because they hit with that finishing move. They build to a crescendo, so at least they have that. But it just doesn't work for me. And I'll always go back to the Jake Roberts thing. It's always the person I'll go to every time I talk about finishing move, and I keep pinging me, it's not that anymore. And I went, but why should it be? Jake Roberts used to signal for the DDT, and the crowd would go mental. Because they knew that if he hit the DDT, it was the end of the match. And that's why a finishing move, it's not even called finisher move, it's called a signature now. That's why it's important. Because if they go, oh my God, they're going for the move, they're going to end it. It's meant to be their last bullet in the gun to finish the match. If I hit this, it's over. And you know what? I'm done with it. I'm sick of it. Because why would you think the moves? Like, for example, I remember when Liv Morgan would hit a thing and they kick out, and Liv goes, "Well, what's she going to do next? Hit it again. Hit it again.
It's the face, Tom. It's the face. They do it every time.
They kicked out my move again.
They always kick out. I hate it. I am trying to watch the rest of the match. I'm trying to get into the match, and I'm watching it, and I might be invested in the story, and then this happens, and I get annoyed at the wrestlers. That's all that happens to me. I go, "You just kicked out."
Why don't you want to protect your own finishing move? I'd be insistent on it. Go, no, I won't hit the move then.
Yeah.
I would just go, I won't hit the move in the match. Kick it. This is why you need to make sure you have a secondary move that also wins, right? If you have a secondary move, let's say Sami Zayn's got the Blue Thunder Bomb, Sheamus has the crucifix thing. You know, if you have a second move that can win matches, let's say on TV, then when people kick out of that, they go, "Oh my god," because they're kicking out the second move. And this is why TV matches, they've been 15 minutes, 20 minutes, pay-per-view 11 matches, is a problem. Because, don't get me wrong, if it's near the pay-per-view and you're not on the pay-per-view, then that's fine. That's your pay-per-view match then, effectively, isn't it? Because Triple H has made that a big deal. The Raw and SmackDown around the pay-per-view. And on Dynamite as well, they do a similar thing. But if you literally build up a couple of moves and protect them, so you like 3/4 protect your secondary move and 100% protect your finishing move, it will make matches better. Because it will come down to it. You could literally have a storyline where the person goes, "You only beat me because I didn't hit you with the bro kick. If I get that bro kick, I know I've won." And you go, "But you didn't because I know how to protect." And you could talk about it so easily. And we're in an age where it's about wrestling now. People are complaining, going, there's weird discourse of people going, "They seem to have forgotten about wrestling. They like promos over there, but we do wrestling." And I go, "No, you don't. You do gymnastics and you kick out of everything. So you're not doing wrestling. You're doing something else." And then WWE go, "We do character and storyline there." Well, wouldn't the character and storyline be not kicking out of the finishing? You're literally, both of you, with what your argument is of we do wrestling and we do character, both should go in the face of the finisher being the finish.
I couldn't agree more. And I think we've got this narrative now where we just automatically agree with it, that this is the best wrestling in ring it's ever been.
Yes, it is.
I don't know that it is, because... So athletically,
I think it is athletically and across the board.
I think athletically, yeah, maybe across the board there's more great wrestlers.
And women as well.
Yeah, in terms of the pace, it's great. But actually, in terms of the importance of like storytelling and pacing,
working a body part.
Yeah, exactly. Psychology. And actually, think about back in the day with like Bret Hart. I know he's not your favourite, but like Eddie Guerrero. These technical matches, the variety of moves that they do, I don't think people do as much of a variety of moves now. I think they do the same kind of spots. People
were arguing about Jeff Hardy on Twitter a couple of months ago with like, he said, if I could have been, if I was clean, I would have been as big as Cena. And somebody commented going, "Oh, Cena did high spots then." It was like, if you think that Jeff was just a high flyer, you didn't watch Jeff, because they weren't high flyers back then. Rey Mysterio isn't just a high flyer. Eddie Guerrero wasn't just a high flyer. They had built a match. They had psychology of a match, and all of those are missing from today's wrestling. And the finisher really is the number one top of my list.
I really think, again, this is my personal taste, nothing more. I think if I wanted to go back on literally Netflix and watch a match, just a random match, I'd rather go to a SmackDown in 2002
than
today, because that's where you got the mix of the psychology and the physicality and the athleticism, all that stuff is in there. There's just more technical wrestling. It's all very copy and paste now. Everyone's basically the same, very kicky or very divey, and it's all very. I know this is a bit of a not a segue, but a tangent. Thank you. But it's not as technically crisp. It's all very choreographed now. And I think the reason they're doing these finisher kickouts is to compensate for the fact they can't do this other stuff.
They can't do
when they go 15 minutes.
They can't build the crowd reaction without it being a high spot. That's what wrestling is now, built to a high spot. So can I put the finishers not being finishers into the lockbox? We should have put it in
long ago, yes.
Yeah, well, it's going in. Baby Sam, what would you like to add into the lockbox this month?
We've both gone for modern problems. Sam, the pull-apart brawls.
Oh my God.
I'm so sick of them. Get them gone. Get them gone. It's a nice angle for I think once every 2 years. You do it.
Once a year.
Yeah, well, once every time. That's how sick of them I am. Because Triple H has this obsession. It's a Triple H thing. Yeah, he thinks he wants to be Japan, where it's like, we can't have violence outside of a wrestling match. So, Cody and Kevin are trying to fight because, they're feuding. Why would they try and fight? Oh, no, we must separate them. You mustn't hurt each other, Mr. Wrestlers. No, don't hurt each other. I'm so done with it. It's every time someone tries to have a scrap or a fight. it always has to end in that, so we don't get these brawls now that you'd see back in the day, where you have a fight, it goes around the arena, they have just a scrap, it's not a match.
So
we lose that. I'm so done with it.
I have two issues with that, with the pull-apart brawl going on. I actually like a pull-apart brawl, because I actually think they're quite exciting when they actually happen.
Yes.
The problem is, Triple H has had them going every week. That's the issue. Triple H has booked them every single week. There is a pull-apart brawl. And I like what you're saying. I actually never thought about the idea that you're actually stopping these guys have a fight, unless they decide they want them to fight. And you're absolutely right. The idea that these guys can't actually fight outside the match day, and it's the fact that they have a fight, but then the guys come really fast. They're like really on it, and then sometimes they're not there. It's like when babyface come out to defend the people, and then sometimes they don't. Like, why are these heels beating up this person?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Have they gone for a shower? Have they gone home? It's like when Chris Jericho won the Undisputed title, he came back and everyone had left. You're like, oh, so if anyone attacked Jericho, he would have been on his own. They've all gone home. No, I have a real issue with this. I actually mentioned it on X a couple of months ago. That I was like, oh, another pull-apart brawl. Oh, another one. Oh, another one. Triple H does have things he's going to. No, don't get me wrong. I would rather repeat exciting things. Don't get me wrong. I would rather do that. Like AEW's obsession with doing a gauntlet match every 5 minutes. I don't mind repetition of an exciting thing compared to Vince, who did repetition of really boring things.
Agreed.
But it is an element going, you do realise if you do this less, it will get bigger responses. It's still getting responses, because it's exciting for the live crowd.
Yeah.
But it's the
so
TV.
Is diving.
But that's the thing. The TV crowd, it's not as good as it could be.
I just like the idea of WWE. It's not like UFC. Well, obviously, if that happened in real life, you pull them apart. No, it's the Wild West where anything can happen, and you can just have a scrap and you just have a massive fight. Sometimes you can pull them apart, or when it escalates too much.
They didn't pull them apart when Bronson Reed was attacking Seth Rollins, or when he was attacking Braun Strowman.
Well, they did. They tried to.
No. I meant like backstage. They went all the way backstage. Yeah. They didn't pull apart then, because that was the story they were telling. Triple H, you need to put a stop to these pull apart brawls, mainly because it's constant.
You lose other storytelling devices as well. Because whenever someone tries to fight outside, even after a match, they'll do it. When someone tries to continue the assault, that's a normal thing to do. Yeah, maybe sure if they get a chair around the neck, then the officials go out because you've gone too far. That's one thing. But I'm so dumb. I see Jason Jordan more than some wrestlers every
I don't
week.
mind them coming in to stop an attack. I actually don't mind that, because that's part of the storyline. My problem is two people who want to fight with each other, or have carried on a fight, or are fighting in a promo segment, is how often they have pull-apart brawls then. It's every single week. And I'm going to say, at most, it should be once every 6 months. A pull-apart brawl. People coming down to stop, like Kevin Owens attacking somebody, is very different to me. I put them in very different, because pull-apart means you're pulling two people apart. If one has been beaten up and the other one's doing the attacking...
No, it was that in my mind, there was one where they were throwing hands, they started throwing, and then they come in and say...
No, I get that. Yeah. But my point is that they are slightly different. But two people who are fighting, you pull them apart. Stop it. Oh my God. Yeah, that is a real modern problem. Yeah. This is the thing, but like, we can praise Triple H as much as we can, and people have called us like, AEW marks and stuff on Twitter, and they goes like, guys, we could tell you Triple H's problems and booking problems. Don't get me wrong, if Vince McMahon was here, Triple H has done this, but that doesn't mean that he can't do this, or that he can go past above the screen.
It doesn't mean that we just blindly praise him. We've got plenty of problems.
There's so many issues, and to be honest, both we mentioned today are things that I think would make the product better. The pull-apart brawl isn't a problem at the moment. It will become a problem if he keeps going down the same route.
It's the amount of times I just see it, and
it's lazy.
It is lazy again. It is lazy. And I remember when they did it with Cena and Lesnar, because they hadn't done one like that in years. Remember 2012,
there was no pull-apart.
Yeah, exactly. And then suddenly they did it, and it was because it was Cena and Lesnar. It was this massive thing, and it was great. It was one of the best angles of that year. Fantastic. That's what it should be. It should be this massive thing of, we can't have these two fighting because we can't have one of our stars getting injured. It's that personal fight.
Do you know the problem with pull-apart brawls? They've actually started having with the same people multiple times. How many pull-apart brawls did Cody and Kevin have? It was ridiculous. Seth and Punk, how many did they have? Pull-apart brawls? But I think I'm happy to put that into the lockbox and put it in there. That's absolutely fine by me. So we put it in there. WWE's modern problem is what the lockbox is today, just after WrestleMania, around WrestleMania time. So thank you very much for joining. What would you add to the lockbox? What do you think of our lockboxes? Are finishers bothering you? Do you care about the modern fact that a finisher isn't a finisher? Is the pull-apart brawls, is it going to be one of the things where you didn't notice it? Because some people don't notice these things, and then suddenly you notice it and the glass shatters and you're like, oh God, it's like a pull-apart brawl. It's like when I ruined Finn Balor for you.
You did a little bit.
I ruined Finn Balor.
I used to really back Finn Balor.
You loved, but let's say this is about 2017, 2018. I just went, all he does is a drop kick, a sling blade, and a coup de grace. That's it.
Kicks,
and you're like, no, he doesn't. And then you watch the match, you're like, oh my god, yeah, that's all he seems to be doing.
That's all he does.
And that could be really harshly criticised, but when you watch it and you really watch it, you're like, yeah, he kind of is. That was when he was a babyface. Bit better as a heel because he gets to be in control of the match.
Yeah.
But as a babyface, that was all he did. Anyway, thank you very much for joining. And what would you put in ours? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join us on all of the social medias. And we will see you next time to get rid of more wrestling tropes and bad things in wrestling. Bye-bye.